Warning. This video blog or vlog may contain harsh language and opinions that are not necessarily in line with YouTube or its partners or affiliates. YouTube does not openly endorse the content of this vlog. All opinions are expressly those of Ranting Ramsay and do not reflect on the opinions or values of YouTube, its affiliates, or its parent or partner companies.
Greetings, Internet people. Ranting Ramsay here. How are you all doing today? Now, I'm going to try, as much as I am able, to get to the point today. As quickly and concisely as possible, he said while killing time by lighting a cigarette. Anyway, so today we're talking about the concept, the idea, whatever you want to call it, of trying child offenders, violent or otherwise grievous offenders, as adults. And what got me thinking about this today was I had watched an episode of the Colbert Report. Yes, I said it like that. I'm that much of a fan. Anyway, I was watching a episode of the Colbert Report on, I think it was Hulu.com, and he did a mostly satirical, but you know how the Colbert Report is, everything's satirical with a point, about child offenders and childs being tried as adults and stuff like that, whatever. And it kind of got me thinking about it, and I came to one conclusion, and that's that perhaps that trying the children as adults is not the best or only solution. I'm not really going to offer any specific solid viewpoint on should we or should we not try children as adults, because I'm not entirely sure. I think, honestly, that this is one of those scenarios where it should be, excuse me, it should be decided on a case-by-case basis as to whether to try the child as an adult or not. But I had an idea that it's kind of facetious, but kind of not. I'm not sure exactly how serious I am about this idea. So please, do not take the preceding video vehemently. Don't take it so completely seriously that you feel the need to vehemently attack me for this possibly facetious viewpoint that I'm about to offer to you. But I don't know, it seems like it's an amusing solution, if nothing else. But then there's a part of me deep down inside that says, you know what, it's more than just an amusing idea. It's actually possibly a viable solution to the problem on some levels in some cases. So please, don't rail against me for being unreasonable. I realize the humor or the unreasonableness of what I'm about to suggest. And I still felt the need to offer it to you on if nothing else, you'll laugh. Maybe not like LOL kind of laugh, but you'll chuckle or giggle to yourself, whatever you do when something mildly amuses you. Anyway, I'd like you to consider the possibility that we shouldn't try child offenders as adults solely, but specifically, instead, let's say, depending on the age of the child or the offense in question, split the sentence, so to speak. Say, for example, a 7-year-old kid commits some act of grand theft. Instead of trying the child as an adult, as has been done by the example links, which I will get to later, so maybe instead of trying the child as an adult, perhaps take some lesser disciplinary action against them and take some of the disciplinary action out against the parents of said child. Because we can't deny that most of these delinquent children are having a severe lack of discipline at home because the parents either don't know how to discipline their child, or they're unwilling to discipline their child, or they're, for some reason, just ignorant and just, that says it best, ignorant. I think that perhaps if the parent had something at stake, something to lose, then perhaps they would pay a little bit more attention to what their child is doing and take a more active role in parenting, and the problem would slowly begin to correct itself. In other words, if parents were cognizant of a very real let's say that hypothetically there's a law in the books that holds parents responsible on a trial by peer level for the severe transgressions of their children, perhaps they would then be more conscionable of the actions of their child, and if they notice they have an out-of-control child, instead of doing what a portion of American parents do, just go, I can't control him, he's a free spirit, he does what he wants to, blah, 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 realize that, holy shit, if my kid goes and steals someone's car or does some other grievous act of harm, I myself could be held responsible and lose part of or all of my freedoms due to incarceration. Now, please, don't misunderstand. I'm not trying to paint this as some out-of-control problem that happens all the time. It's not like children are rampantly being tried as adults every day in America, though some places and sources would want you to believe that. It doesn't. It's not exactly common, but it does happen enough for me to have very little difficulty finding multiple news stories and news blogs on the exact subject with one 5-word search on Google. 5 simple little words, one search. I figure about 680,000 of the 6.8 million results they said they had were probably relevant. You get about a 10% relevancy ratio out of Google. And that kind of says something. But this is the internet, so these numbers probably aren't as indicative of a social problem as I am making them out to sound. But it is a large enough problem for the Colbert Report to decide it is worthy of satire, so there's something anyway. But I want you to make up your own mind for yourself. Don't just listen to what I have to say and then go off parroting my viewpoints. As always, I encourage you to do all of your own research and evaluate the results of that research with an open mind. As LeVar Burton used to say on Reading Rainbow, you don't have to take my word for it. So, if you want to do your research starting from the same places that I started my search with on the subject, here's a few of the interesting stories that I found at the beginning of my search. The first one comes from Arizona, where police in Arizona want an 8-year-old trialed as an adult for murder. I believe this actually happened back in like 2008. So, once again, please, if you go to these articles, pay attention to the dates involved. Anyway, they wanted an 8-year-old tried as an adult for murder. The basic outline of the case is that the 8-year-old in question allegedly shot and killed his father and another man. Though there are no reports on record, there are indications, so states the linked article, that the child may have been abused, but he had no prior history of violent behavior. He was tried as an adult. Moving on, and this a bit of an article from Pennsylvania, which offers the viewpoint that kids. I'm sorry, I skipped ahead on myself, but yeah, we're talking about Pennsylvania and about a 12-year-old boy who was 11 at the time when he allegedly murdered his father's pregnant fiancée, and this was dated as of March 30, 2010, and he's apparently going to face trial as an adult. It was alleged that the 12-year-old Jordan Brown blew his soon-to-be stepmother's head off with a shotgun blast from behind and will be tried as an adult for both the alleged murder of the woman and her fetus. It's kind of a whole other ball of wax altogether right there. Anyway, as always, you are free to form your own opinions on the information available to you. And then one last piece that I want to bring to you is this is a bit from an article which offers the viewpoint that kids should never be tried as an adult from CNN. And it mentions in its opening pair of paragraphs that 20 years ago, this is like in the early 80s, a 9-year-old boy by the name of Cameron was tried as an adult for shooting a rifle from his bedroom window and killing a 7-year-old neighbor while she was riding a snowmobile. Questionable tactics on both sides of the fence when it comes to the parents on that one. A 7-year-old riding a snowmobile and a 9-year-old with a rifle? Now you see why I think perhaps the parents should be held responsible for the actions of the children by law and facing sentences as severe, if not more severe, than the children may be. But that's what's going on, and I've told you what my semi-facetious solution to the problem is. Remember, I am mostly joking about my solution. But there is a part of me, deep down inside, that thinks maybe we should hold the parents as responsible as the children who commit violent crimes, just as, if not more. So if in these situations, there obviously has been a breakdown of the parent-child dichotomy, and steps should be taken to correct that. What steps? I have no fucking clue, but some steps obviously need to be taken. It is, those of you who have been watching me for a while know that I feel parental responsibility is a huge part of rearing a child and an often and much neglected part in American society. American parents seem more apt to sit their kids down in front of SpongeBob or some Disney fucking DVD instead of actually taking some active part in this free time and spare time of their children. They'd rather let them get their values and impressions from computer-animated programming than actually trying to impart some sort of life wisdom or experience to their child through interaction. Long, intense, meaningful interaction. This doesn't seem to go on in mainstream American society, and it needs to. We need to take a more active part in our children's lives. That's why I don't have any fucking children, because I don't feel like I have that much time or attention to devote to the proper rearing of a child. I honestly don't feel that I have the attention span or the mentality to give a child the proper guidance and rearing and attention that it would require and still satisfy my own self-serving interests, because I am at core a selfish person when it comes to my spare time, and goddamn it, I want to do what I want to fucking do with my spare time, and a child would be a major distraction to that for me. So I kind of apply that logic to people who do have children. Is like, well, your life's down the fucking tubes because everything that you need to do at this point should be devoted to the development of propriety in that child. But that's my viewpoint. That's my opinion. And it's a rare one in these United States, in my personal view. So there you go. There you have it. Should we try children as adults? Should we not? I want to know what you think. So send me video responses, or send me private messages, or channel comments, whatever, that tells me what your opinion or viewpoint on trying children as adults is, because I don't really have a solid opinion. As I said, my solution is kind of a joke, but kind of not. Make up your mind for yourself. So there you go. There you have it. I'm RantingRamsay. That is all.
Hey, did you get all that, man?
Douche.